G'day champions, I'm Jax. Welcome to the Travelling Turner. Today we're going to be venturing just south of Seabird, a small town that started out as a fisherman's village for lobster fishermen. So let's go. So Seabird is a small town that is 99.5 kilometres outside of Perth City. It's a very, very rural feeling town. It's quite small, and even at the end of this road within the main town, as you can see, I venture straight off onto a sandy track and I'm greeted by this beautiful coastline that is just unmatched anywhere else. Look at that. How is that for literally 5 minutes outside of a town? That is just beautiful. It took me some time to get the lathe level for this turning project, but we got there in the end. This is always one of the most exciting parts of a Travelling Turner episode, is setting up and really getting to investigate a new area and the surroundings. This is one of my favourite shots from the entire series, right along this coastline here. I just find it absolutely tranquil and stunning. So today I'm going to be working with some she oak, which is one of my top 3 favourite timbers to turn. And it's the first time we've seen she oak in this series so far. I had a vision for this blank before I started, and the only way I can really describe it is a bit of a UFO kind of bolt. I wanted to do my best to maintain that live edge inclusion that you can see there flickering as the piece is turning. Sanding the outside right up to 400 grit before I go about applying the Custom Creations Custom Grit Step 1 and then Step 2. This is a finish that you're going to see me use throughout this series, and it is one of my favourite finishes for lathe projects. It takes the piece up to a rated 100,000 grit finish. Now when you finish with the sandpaper at 400 grit, it creates a very matte shine. But if you were to keep polishing with the sandpaper up to say 4000 grit, you're going to end up with a mirror finish on that timber. I was able to save that inclusion, as you can see there, and look at the grain pattern in she oak. It is just an absolutely stunning timber. The lace is incredible. Ensure the piece is running true by attaching the chuck onto the back of it, then switching it around and removing the faceplate. After making sure everything is secure, I can take the faceplate off and we're ready to go on hollowing this piece out. Now, as I said earlier, she oak is in my top 3 favourite timbers to turn, and that is because it turns like butter. I really thoroughly enjoy turning this timber. It's beautiful to work with, it's not too harsh on your tools. And in an environment like this where I don't have all of my tools right there at my disposal, it's quite handy to have a piece of timber like this that works well with the turner. This was a very deep hollow considering the tools that I had on me, but it was a lot of fun turning this piece. I think this is one of the nicest backdrops I've ever had while doing a woodworking project, let alone turning something on my lathe. As you can see, the she oak contrasts beautifully with a beech scene. It really makes it stand out. The really deep oranges and browns in a she oak piece are unmatched with any other timber. Hitting the inside again with custom grit step 1 and step 2. Working that in at high speed on the lathe before removing all of the excess. Mounting this up on my coal jaws and flipping it around, and this is going to allow me to remove the mortise on the bottom of the piece. Now this is not an essential step, but I find that it makes the bowl have a very professional feel once it's finished. The only catch with these coal jaws is you can't go over 600 RPM on the lathe. For someone who generally turns at top speed on a lathe, 600 RPM is quite slow. Whipped out the wood burner to go about riding the travelling turner on the bottom before applying custom grit step 1 and step 2 again, so that the base that we just turned matches the rest of the bowl. And there you have it. This is one of my favourite pieces from this entire series. I really love how this bowl turned out. And being able to say that I turned it in a location like this is just phenomenal. And we can see here the storm blowing over, bringing out some beautiful blue skies, and the entire backdrop lights up and comes to life. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of The Travelling Turner, guys, and I hope I see you here next week when episode 4 drops.